Welcome to the Mandarin channel, where we unlock the doors to history's most captivating tales, one story at a time. I'm Alex, your guide through the echoes of the past. Today, we're settling into this timeless library, surrounded by the whispers of ancient volumes, to delve into one of antiquity's most enduring legends, the story of Spartacus. If you've ever thrilled to the clash of swords in a gladiator arena, or pondered the fire of rebellion against tyranny, this is the tale for you. Spartacus wasn't just a gladiator. He was a symbol of defiance, a slave who shook the mighty Roman Republic to its core. We'll explore his life from every angle, the historical facts, the myths that have grown around him, the social upheavals he ignited, and the lasting impact on our world today. Grab a seat by the fire, and let's journey back to the blood-soaked sands of ancient Rome. To truly understand Spartacus, we must first set the stage in the Roman world of the 1st century BCE. The Roman Republic was at its zenith, a sprawling empire stretching from the misty shores of Britannia to the sun-baked deserts of North Africa. But beneath this veneer of power lay a rotten foundation: slavery. By conservative estimates, slaves made up about 20 to 30% of Italy's population, many captured in wars, others born into bondage. They toiled in mines, farms, and households, their lives cheap and expendable. Gladiators, in particular, occupied a brutal niche. These were often prisoners of war, criminals, or debt slaves trained to fight for entertainment in arenas like the Colosseum, though it wasn't built yet. Spartacus predates it. The games were more than spectacle. They were a tool of social control, reminding the masses of Rome's might while distracting them from inequalities. Imagine the roar of crowds as men hacked at each other with swords and nets. Life expectancy was short, glory fleeting. Now enter Spartacus. Our sources are sparse and often biased, primarily from Roman historians like Plutarch, Appian, and Sallust, writing decades or centuries later. They weren't sympathetic to slaves, so we must read between the lines. Spartacus was likely born around 103 BCE in Thrace, a rugged region in what is now Bulgaria, Greece, and Turkey. Thracians were fierce warriors, known for their tribal societies and resistance to invaders. Some accounts suggest Spartacus served as an auxiliary in the Roman legions before deserting or being captured, perhaps for banditry or insubordination. Historians debate if he was truly a deserter or simply enslaved in a Roman conquest. Plutarch calls him intelligent and cultured, more Hellenic than barbaric, implying education beyond a typical slave's lot. By 73 BCE, Spartacus found himself in a gladiatorial school, or ludus, in Capua, owned by Lentulus Batiatus. These schools were like prisons crossed with boot camps: grueling training, poor food, constant surveillance. Spartacus trained as a murmillo, a heavily armored fighter with a short sword and large shield, evoking the image of a fish, but he wasn't content to die for Roman amusement. The spark of rebellion ignited in the summer of 73 BCE. According to Appian, about 70 gladiators, led by Spartacus and two Gallic companions Crixus and Oenomaus, overpowered guards using kitchen tools as weapons. They escaped the ludus, seizing wagons of gladiatorial arms en route. For the gladiators, this wasn't a spontaneous brawl. It showed planning and resolve. From multiple angles, consider the nuances. Was this purely about freedom or fueled by ethnic tensions? Any escapees were Thracians, Gauls, and Germans, non-Romans with grudges against their captors. Socially, it tapped into widespread slave discontent amid economic woes like the social wars and Sulla's dictatorships. The fugitives fled to Mount Vesuvius, a volcanic stronghold near Naples. There, they fortified a camp, raiding nearby estates for supplies and freeing more slaves. Word spread like wildfire. Thousands flocked to them. Slaves, shepherds, even some free poor. By autumn, their numbers swelled to perhaps 10,000. Rome's response was initially dismissive. A praetor named Gaius Claudius Glaber led 3,000 hastily assembled militia to besiege the mountain, but Spartacus outmaneuvered them brilliantly. Here's a military angle. Vesuvius's slopes were steep and vine-covered. The rebels fashioned ropes from wild vines, rappelling down cliffs to surprise Glaber's camp from the rear. They routed the Romans, capturing weapons and standards, a humiliating blow. This victory wasn't just tactical. It boosted morale and attracted more recruits.
Edge case. Modern historians question the vine rope story's feasibility. Vines might not hold armored men, but it symbolizes ingenuity over brute force.
As winter approached, the revolt escalated. Spartacus's army grew to 70,000 by some estimates, though numbers vary. Appian says 120,000 at peak. Plutarch is more conservative. They split into factions. Crixus, favoring aggressive raids, broke off with 30,000 Gauls and Germans. This highlights internal nuances, cultural divides, and strategic debates. Crixus' group was crushed by consul Gellius Publicola at Mount Garganus, but Spartacus avenged them, defeating Gellius and another consul, Lentulus, in separate battles. From a leadership perspective, Spartacus emerges as a shrewd commander. He avoided direct confrontations with Rome's elite legions, preferring guerrilla tactics, hit-and-run raids, ambushes, and mobility. His forces forged weapons from farm tools, trained in Roman formations, and even crucified captured soldiers as psychological warfare, mirroring Rome's cruelties. Implications here, this wasn't mere banditry. It was a proto-revolutionary movement challenging slavery's institution.
Forward, brothers, for our freedom! Onward to victory!
By 72 BCE, the rebels controlled much of southern Italy, from Lucania to Campania. They wintered in Thurii, amassing wealth from plundered villas. Spartacus aimed north, toward the Alps, intending to let followers disperse to their homelands. But his army, flush with success, turned back south, perhaps due to greed, overconfidence, or reluctance to leave fertile lands. Nuances abound. Did Spartacus lose control?
Wait, that's one! Let's no make us!
A council Spartacus. Sources test democratic votes among leaders, hinting at a collective rather than autocratic command. Edge cases. Some slaves might have preferred staying to fight for a new order, while others sought escape. The Senate appointed Marcus Licinius Crassus, a larger-than-life wealthy patrician famous for his immense wealth and later forming the first triumvirate with Caesar in Rome. Panicked recalled generals from abroad. Crassus commanded 8 legions, about 40,000 men. He decimated underperforming units, killing every 10th man to instill discipline, a brutal Roman practice. Crassus cornered Spartacus in Lucania. The rebels attempted a breakout, but Crassus built fortifications, a 35-mile ditch and wall across the peninsula's toe, trapping them. Starvation loomed, but Spartacus broke through during a snowstorm, using dead bodies and earth to fill the ditch, a grim testament to desperation. The final clashes were fierce. Spartacus defeated Crassus' lieutenants but lost cohesion. In 71 BCE, near the Salaris River, the decisive battle unfolded. Spartacus's forces, now 60,000 strong, charged valiantly. Legend says he slew his horse to fight on foot.
No retreat! No retreat!
Wounded in the thigh, 6,000 rebels were crucified along the Appian Way from Capua to Rome. A horrifying spectacle meant to deter future uprisings.
Edge case, not all died. Some 5,000 fled north, only to be intercepted by Pompey returning from Spain. Pompey claimed credit, fueling rivalry with Crassus. But was Spartacus' body ever found? Sources differ. Plutarch says no, adding mythic aura. The Third Servile War, as it's called, cost Rome dearly. Millions in property damage, disrupted agriculture, and exposed vulnerabilities. It didn't end slavery, but it influenced reforms. Better ludus security, limits on slave imports. Now, let's pivot to cultural legacy, a multifaceted angle. Spartacus became a symbol of resistance. In the Enlightenment, Voltaire praised him as a freedom fighter. Karl Marx called him the most splendid fellow in the whole of ancient history, inspiring communist iconography. Howard Fast's 1951 novel, adapted into Stanley Kubrick's 1960 film with Kirk Douglas, romanticized him as a noble hero. The film, scripted by blacklisted Dalton Trumbo, infused anti-McCarthyism themes. Portraying Spartacus as an egalitarian leader, his comrades rise as one. Modern depictions vary. Starz' TV series, Spartacus 2010-2013, amps up gore and sex, exploring gladiatorial life's brutality from slaves' perspectives. Historical accuracy suffers. Spartacus wasn't necessarily muscular and charismatic as portrayed. He might have been pragmatic, even ruthless. His story echoes in movements like abolitionism, civil rights, and labor rights. Think of it in Black Lives Matter or anti-trafficking contexts. Defiance against systemic oppression. From a historiographical view, sources are Roman-centric, so we lack Spartacus' voice. What if Thracian oral traditions survived? We might see him as a tribal hero, not just a rebel. Broader considerations, the revolt highlighted Rome's over-reliance on slaves, foreshadowing the empire's fall. Economically, it spurred shifts toward free labor in some sectors. My friend, this contract ensures your freedom after the harvest. I am grateful. A new era begins. Related edge cases. Other servile wars preceded Spartacus. The first 132 BCE and second 104-101 BCE in Sicily, led by Eunice and Salvius. They involved prophecies and kingships, contrasting Spartacus' secular approach. Why did his succeed longer? Better leadership, timing amid Roman civil strife. Psychologically, imagine Spartacus' rebels' mindset. Hope mingled with terror.
Women and children joined, turning the army into a migrating community, implying not just war, but a bid for alternative society.
In literature and art, Arthur Koestler's 1939 novel The Gladiators explores ideological fractures.
Ballet and opera adaptations romanticize the tragedy. Pop culture, video games like Spartacus Legends let players relive battles.
Spartacus. Implications for modern warfare. Guerrilla tactics prefigure insurgents from Vietnam to Afghanistan. Hit weak points, use terrain. As we reflect, Spartacus teaches resilience. In a library like this, amid forgotten rebellions, his story reminds us, even chains can break. And that's the legendary story of Spartacus, a man who turned the tables on an empire. If this tale ignited your curiosity, hit that like button to show your support. It helps spread these stories further. Don't forget to subscribe to the Man in the Room channel for more deep dives into history's hidden rooms. What do you think? Was Spartacus a hero or a harbinger of chaos? Comment below, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep questioning the past. Take care.